Everything you're about to hear is for entertainment purposes only. Listen, have some fun, but don't ever do, believe, or promote anything they say. They're idiots.
Guys, hold up. You should know, this ain't for everybody. Welcome to Savagely Loud. What's happening, people? Guys, welcome back to the show for the people that understand that facts divided by feelings equals failure. I'm Cliff, I'm your host, and I'm joined today and always by Dave Anderson, the big bad Viking himself. Welcome back, Dave. And if you're watching, you're going to notice another particular gentleman on the screen that we will get to soon. But before we do that, you know the drill. If you want to help me out, get these words out, get these truths out, you can follow me at Savagely Loud on Instagram is where I'm most active. And on that page, you're going to find two links. One of those links is to the Savagely Loud podcast page on Instagram. So if you could please follow us there too, it would help greatly in growing the show, making the footprint wider. And, you know, let's face it, it'll inevitably be my backup page when they shut Savagely Loud Maine down. And, the other link you're going to find on that page is a simple link tree. Anywhere you want to see my bullshit or hear my rants, you can find it there, easy peasy. Outside of that, Facebook, X, and Rumble at Savagely Loud, YouTube at Savagely Loud Podcast. Please don't forget to subscribe. You can email me in, savagelyloud@gmail.com. If you have an email for Dave and you want to just send it there too, I'll make sure he gets it. And last but not least, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and share the material. Follow my guests, our guests. I got to keep saying ours. I'm not used to running this shit with a co-host. So make sure you follow our guests so you can get their updates and support them, because that's the only reason these people come on the show is because I believe that they're worthy of your support. I would not put somebody in front of your eyes that I didn't think was good for you. So definitely like, comment, share the material. And please, for the love of all the things that you love, rate and review the show on Apple iTunes and Spotify. It helps immensely break us into the algorithm. That all being said, Big Dave Anderson, the big bad Viking. How are we doing?
I am doing great. How about yourself, man?
I got zero complaints. Well, I guess I could complain, but it doesn't do any good. Nobody wants to listen to that shit, right?
Hey, who the fuck's going to listen to you?
I mean, unless you frame it right and you get a good hook and then you start talking some shit immediately, then people like it.
You better get a real good fucking hook before you just go right into that shit. Because I think I'm going to look at you like, no, I don't want to hear it.
Let everybody know where they can find you, Dave.
All right, man. Y'all can find me on social media. I'm heavily active over on Facebook and Instagram at The Hammer Drops. If you want to get in touch with me, another way to do so is to email me at david@thehammerdrops.com, and that's the best way to get a hold of me so you can actually get a response from me. Don't do DMs because they just keep getting filled and I don't look at them.
Yeah, we need to hire some people to go through our DMs so we can get to all these motherfuckers. I got thousands now in my requests. So it's Harry. Anyway, let's get to the conversation. If you're watching, like I said, you're going to notice a very well-dressed, very prim and proper gentleman on the screen. If you're not watching, allow me to tell you, we are joined today by none other than Christopher Galien, the founder of American Reich. We're going to get into all sorts of his story of struggle and triumph, American Reich, what it is, what it's doing, why it exists, and we're going to hopefully, build the fan base for that. So, without further ado, how are we doing today, brother? How you doing, Christopher?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for having me. You have been awesome in conversation with me before the show, helping me feel relaxed and very welcome. So I appreciate that. It's a beautiful day in California, Saturday evening. I'm great, man. I'm ready for a show.
Hell yeah, dude. California is such a wild place, like we talked about earlier. The weather, the climate, the scenery, everything is absolutely beautiful except the politics. It's just ruining the whole place. And which is coincidentally, that's probably why the American Reich got started, and at least in part, but we'll get to that, So tell us first and foremost where everybody can find you. Where can they find you?
Like you, I'm most active on Instagram at founder_AR. That's my username. Also, you can email me at americanreichllc@gmail.com, and also American American_Reich_party is our campaign page. You can find information on us there.
Make sure you go hit up those pages, follow, support, because you know what? This dude's doing some amazing shit with him and his team. We're going to get into it. You're going to love it, I'm sure. If you like anything about America and you believe that America should be first without a branding campaign, you're going to like what we have for you today.
I also have a YouTube, American Reich. Just type it in YouTube, it'll pop up. We have Rumble. I have an X account, American Reich LLC. So we're on X, Rumble. I do have a TikTok as well, but I never go on it. And I have somebody that's going to start helping me with that. I'm just like kind of anti-TikTok, but
you'll get banned soon.
That's exactly what I said. They said, sir, we really need to do Facebook and TikTok. I said, why? So we could do a bunch of work to get banned? It sounds like a waste of fucking time.
Right? Facebook, I've had some really good luck with. Instagram, I've had some really good luck with. As long as you skate that line, you're pretty good. TikTok, I got banned once and never went back. I know I've got personal friends of mine that have had 38 fucking TikTok accounts, and I just don't play their game. You want to ban me? That's fine. Ban me. I'll go somewhere else until I get banned enough where I just don't go anywhere. I don't really care.
I had a personal TikTok for a while, and the day Israel bought it was the day I deactivated my account. And just because my staff has been on my ass about, come on, TikTok, there's a lot of people. I'm like, all right. It took me like a week to break, but we do have a TikTok.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? Anywhere you can get information to be put to the masses is good, even if it draws negative publicity. I mean, shit, we all know by this point, negative publicity is probably the best publicity you can get, because if somebody comes on and they're just shit talking your fucking foundation all up and down, all that's going to do is strike curiosity in the people that, you know, they look at you. We immediately relate. Let's go see what dude's about.
Exactly. I agree with that. Any publicity is good publicity, even bad publicity. So I agree with that 100%. Right. Yeah.
Got that right. He's got some shirts that I want to show. Not right now. We're going to get to that a little later in the show. So we're going to keep the suspense rolling for you guys, because he's got some really cool merch. I've been watching it come out. It's really, really good. I like that new red, white, and blue thing. We'll get to it, but we'll definitely show off some of your gear. People can see your gear and some of your gear in the background, some of your hats. Good stuff. It's really cool stuff. I like it. And I like the whole idea behind American Reich, because like I've said before, the American part draws the attention, and then the Reich part creates this little twitch in people's brain, and it causes them to have to look deeper into the situation. You know what I mean?
It triggers an emotional response.
Facts. Yep. Triggers a highly emotional response. Yeah. So before we get to American Reich, let's talk about Christopher Galien, the man. So I happen to know that you've lived a long life. You're even just being 40, I think you said you were. Yeah. You're 40 years old. I'm 43. Dave's 177. You've lived a long life.
I thought it was 187.
Oh, police code for murder, right?
Sorry, Dave.
Oh, God. Dang.
I'm just teasing you.
You guys are brutal tonight, man. Let's burn it. Come on.
Don't tell me you're going to turn into a snowflake now.
No, hell no.
But you've lived a long life. We got into a little bit, and I was just like, whoa. We gotta have this for the masses, because people, because you're in a position of leadership in your world right now. And when people see a person, they view a person in a position of leadership, it's a very hard proposition for people to often get behind, because first and foremost, people, although we're starving for leadership on a tribal level, on a core level, we also have the ego of saying, I can lead this. And we often find out, most of the time, in fact, the people that thought they were leaders aren't leaders. But you're definitely a leader. And what made you a leader is the life that you've lived. I know there's been struggle, there's been overcome. Let's get into let's go back some, and let's start the story, because we want to get to American Reich and what that is and where it's coming from and what it's doing. But we have to know the previous scenes, right, of the life story. So tell me about, when you started getting into your bigger struggles, and how, what were these struggles? How did you deal with them? How long did they go? Let's start there.
So I'll be really transparent, because every piece of the puzzle has made me the man I am today. So at a very early age, I'm talking about birth, I was separated from my mother because there was narcotics in my system. Thankfully, I'm okay. I don't have any brain damage. I'm not retarded or anything. Like, I'm okay. But the state of California always has a blood test on the baby. And if there's narcotics in the bloodstream, then CPS intervenes. And that's what happened. And my biological mom couldn't get it together. I was in and out of foster care for about 3 years. And then I was adopted by a loving, wonderful family. My dad is a retired captain of the Los Angeles Fire Department. My mom is PTA Mother of the Year, white picket fence. I had a great childhood. I have an older sister. We got everything, the American dream, vacations, the American dream. But I always felt not a part of. Like, I always knew I was a part of the family, but I didn't 100% always feel like a part of the family. Not by their doing. They did everything the best they could. Just something was missing. And at a very early age, about 14, 15, I started to explore and experiment and self-medicate with marijuana and LSD and ecstasy and mushrooms and drinking and partying, but I didn't stop. So by the time I was 18 years old, I was a full-blown alcoholic, entering my first jail cell from a DUI. Then I got out and I started to do the rehab cycle. Basically my 20s are rehab, sober living, jail, hospitals, and mental institutions. I drank myself to oblivion. I'm going to fast forward. So 30 years old, I'm homeless downtown LA on Skid Row, not a place for a white man to be, especially. I was not only in the jungle, but obviously the wrong guy to be in that jungle.
Yeah.
I was drinking myself to death. I burned every bridge. Nobody was taking my phone call. I didn't even have a cell phone, but nobody was taking my phone call. Nobody wanted me around. I had warrants for my arrest, 114 pounds soaking wet. I was the guy you crossed the street to get away from. Like, you saw me, you're like, oh, hey, let's cross the street. Like, So I ended up in a homeless shelter on downtown LA on Skid Row. And I was laying on a metal bunk, September 7th, 2016. A guy's a few bunks away from me, puking in a bucket. All the shitters and showers are wide open like county jail. And I'm sick as a dog. And it was about 11 at night. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to die out here. I'm either going to do this Alcoholics Anonymous thing. Like, there's no question I'm an alcoholic. Like, I'm going to do this or I'm going to die. I woke up the next day, September 8th, 2016, and I haven't had a drink since. And I've slowly rebuilt my life. A huge part of my professional career was I got into the addiction field. I graduated from UCLA with addiction studies as a certified counselor.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I started at the bottom and worked my way up. Was the nighttime tech who would drive clients to meetings. I went back to school, started becoming a counselor. Then I started doing operations. Then I started directing programs. Then I started licensing programs. So 10 years of my career was working with people that needed help. And I have a lot of leadership history in doing that, running teams, running clinical teams, running residential technician teams, being the leader, because I've been in that position. I've been at the bottom and I've worked my way out of it. A little bit, fast forward a little bit more, somewhere in that storyline, about 9 years ago, I met my wife. She changed my heart. I feel like I had that last opportunity to not be a piece of shit to another human being. And we went on a date. It's been us ever since. We have a 4.5-year-old daughter who has also changed my heart. That's where I got into politics, and we'll get there. Was my daughter forced me into looking at the liberal fucking craziness. But so to answer your question, the leadership part, I've been a born leader, and I have proof of that because I have led teams in not only financial success, but human success. Well, I have people to this day that message me 10 years later. Hey man, I remember you spoke at a meeting, or I remember that conversation we had at the hospital when you came to pick me up and bring me to rehab. I'm still sober, man. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I firmly believe in leading by example. And I'm the kind of leader where there's a picture and it's in my brain, and I'm going to paint it for you real quick. And I'm sure you've seen it. It's a picture of a leader, and he's sitting in a chair and he has all of his people in front of him and he's pointing.
Yeah.
saying, go. I'm not that leader. I'm the leader in front of everybody looking back saying, let's go.
Yep.
I'll be in the front and you follow me. That's the kind of leader I am.
That's the only way you can lead. You have to lead from the front. It's in the title, leader. You know, so many people want to become leaders, but they want to lead from the back of the safety of the shadows, you know, so they can maintain plausible deniability, or they can maintain a layers of protection. Fuck that. Real leaders get out in the front and they guide their team on the pathway they're walking. I want to touch on something because my wife is adopted, right? So she's my second wife, and every bit of my soulmate. Like, dude, like she's. People talk about ride or dies. Like, nah, this woman of mine is the ride or die. But because she's adopted, I feel you on a lot of the things that you said about being adopted. I feel you on how. You know, because being adopted, even though because she was also adopted into a fantastic family, you know, had the money, had the vacations. She literally asked her dad, you know, because everybody's dad and their mom and dad to her, you know, even being adopted. But she was the one that, you know, can I have a pony? And she got a fucking pony, you know, because dad worked his ass off and this and that. But even with all of that, I think that we should touch on that real quick because people look at this. At people that are adopted, and especially the ones that are adopted into loving good homes and households, they're like, oh, you had it all. You had it all. No, motherfucker. I had a lot, but the one piece of me that I didn't have was the one piece you got and you don't even know. And that can fuck with somebody's mind. And I would not doubt at all that is a large part of what led you down that self-medication, you know, the self-medicating alley, that avenue of like, you know, like I've got everything, you're giving me everything, but I don't know what's missing, but I know something is. Maybe I just have to get away from this. I have to fill this void, even if it's just for right now. I just got to fill this void long enough to not feel something for just a moment. And that just snowballs like a fucking, like an avalanche coming down the fucking mountain, you know. When you got into your addiction, that's another really hard one because I've been an addict too. You know, I don't want to put you out there like you're the only one here. Dave's been an addict as well. Like I was selling myself 3-gram 8-balls for $40 and I was spending $1,000 a week on my own habit because I was trying to fill certain voids. I was trying to become something through substance that I wasn't through substance. You know what I mean? Like, I was using exogenous substances to try to become the thing that I needed to be, but I would have become that thing had I personally had substance. And you have to, and a lot of us just have to go through that struggle. A lot of us have to learn the hard way. A lot of us just have to hit rock bottom and look around and be like, dude, I can't fucking be you anymore. It's those people that I think, and not because I'm one of them, but I just, on general speaking terms, it's that kind of person that has been at the fucking depths of despair all the way down at the bottom. Like, you don't get lower than Skid Row. Like, that's the worst place in America. You don't get lower than that. And the fact that you had the wherewithal or the mental presence, the self-awareness to actually reach that epiphanatic moment where you just looked around and you're like, this has got to end. That right there is the day true leadership started, because you were beginning to lead yourself. And that's where a lot of people, most people can't lead themselves, but they all are in line to lead other people. And you figured it out the right way. You figured out how to lead yourself out of hell and then progress from there, and then eventually jump into a leadership role for other people. I think that's hugely commendable. I just wanted to say that out loud. I think it's hugely commendable.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was some people, everyone has a different name for it. It was a moment of a psychic change, a moment of a mental shift, a spiritual awakening. But I'll never forget the day my daughter was born, and I'll never forget September 7th, 2016, laying on that bed, that moment, and that guy fucking puking behind me. It was gross. But that moment where I was like, it was literally, this is the best way I can simplify it. It was, Christopher, we're either going to live or we're going to die. And I chose to live.
Yeah.
It was that simple. I couldn't have gone much longer the way I was drinking. Impossible.
Yeah. And I was never the alcoholic. I've done my fair share of drinking. I was in the harder shit, but Just to touch on your daughter, because I'm a huge one for being a man, like not being a guy, being a man. And especially when you involve husbandry and fathering into that equation, that separates the men from the fucking wannabes real quick. And then you add on your history of being adopted, this terrible family life. And now you have a daughter and you have a wife that loves you. That says all the fucking things that anybody should ever have to know about who you are at your core, because you can come from that back there and then provide this new precious life, being your daughter. You can provide this new precious life with all of the things that life should give her, should show her: the love, the commitment, the togetherness, the family, everything. Most people that come from your history, they can't do it. And again, another commendable fucking aspect, especially one that leads into leadership, because children, people think kids are easy. No, leading a child is extremely difficult because it starts on day one and ends on your last day. It's just a lifetime job. You don't get a break. You don't get a vacation. So to be able to put all of that subconscious baggage away because you need to benefit this young girl, that is fucking amazing. And you know what? I can get that's some man shit. That's things I could get behind all day long. I love to hear that shit, you know?
Yeah, and I'm human. I'm not a perfect husband or a perfect father, but I do my damnedest. And to tie this into a little bit of where I'm at now as the founder and leader of American Reich is, I do have this beautiful life, right, that I've built for myself through a lot of hard work and dedication. And the one thing that solidifies it, and that I know that life happens, anything can happen at any moment.
Yeah.
But my philosophy is this. So it's like, I use the credit card analogy. I maxed out my credit card for life, in the sense of I hurt a lot of people. I burned a lot of bridges. There's irreparable damage that has been done that I'll never be forgiven for. I did a lot of bad shit in my drinking, right? So I feel like I have this debt to the universe that I need to pay back. And how I pay that back is helping other people. I did it for years in substance use treatment facilities. I do it by helping the lady at the grocery store. And now I have this platform and this beautiful organization where I get to help the American people. I'm in a position where I get to help. And that's why in the morning when I look at myself in the mirror, I know, Christopher, you are more of a giver than a taker, because if it turns the opposite way, you're going to fuck this all up. You're going to lose that hot wife of yours. You're going to lose the love of that little girl of yours. You're going to lose all of it. So I always make sure I'm a giver more than a taker, and I'm giving back to the universe, to America, to my people and my family, and not just taking.
God, I love that. I wish more people were fucking givers than takers. It's if you're not connected with Jess Sywert, do you know Jess Sywert? He's on Instagram as Recon to Recovery. Do you know him?
I'm not familiar. Maybe if you like showed me his face, and like, look, I'd be like, oh yeah, I've seen him.
I'm gonna connect.
Ringing a bell.
I'm going to connect you with him because he does a lot of stuff, you know, with social work, drug rehabilitation. He's got a story. He did a show with us. So there's an episode in the library, but I'm going to connect you with him because I think you guys would hit it off, because you have a history in what he does now. Drug addiction, counseling, this and that. He's been an addict. He's been in prison. He's been literally blown up overseas for the U.S. military. And he's a really cool fucking dude. So I'll connect you guys because I think you guys will hit it off, and I think he'll really like what you stand for. But now let's get to the meat. The meat. Everybody wants to know, what in the hell is this American Reich thing that we keep seeing everywhere on the internet? What is this? Because like we said, it's, you know, you hook people with American and then you make them twitch with the Reich. You create that visceral emotional response. Tell us what American Reich is, if you can just like narrow it down a little bit.
Narrow it down. Okay. Let me tell you it in the narrow way. It's pretty simple. American Reich is a patriotic movement for Americans only. It's an America first, America only movement. It doesn't matter your color, doesn't matter your creed, doesn't matter your background. It is for all Americans to come together despite our government and the Zionist regime that's obviously running our government, despite the immigration that is taking over our country slowly and slowly and slowly. Is it about American patriots with that revolutionary fire in their spirit that love this country still and that are proud to be a member, I guess you would call it, or a citizen of this country? It is for Americans, the American Reich. And Reich, by definition, means empire, it means realm, it means kingdom, it means nation. And I believe that it's not too late and we can make this beautiful American Reich, this American kingdom, this nation of ours, great once again. And that's what the American Reich is. And that's the short version. But yes, that is it in a nutshell. Men, women, if you're American and you're here and you still have an ounce of fight left in you before this thing gets taken over, come join us. That's the American Reich.
I dig it.
I dig that. That's fucking awesome. I really do.
It's almost like it's like how do I word this? It's a reimagining of a patriot party, so to speak, because, you know, there was a couple whispers a couple years ago about forming a patriot party, and that was only for Americans that loved America. But that never came to fruition. But what did come to fruition is the American Reich, the organization that you are the founder and president of. And I've been watching you build this thing. I've been watching, you know, more and more people take part. You know, I'm seeing more tags, more collabs, more gear, you know, more people putting on, you know, doing the unboxing thing of American Reich, and I'm seeing your gear. Let's show people a couple of things, a couple pieces of your gear, because I think it's worth looking at. All right. So let's show people a couple things of what you got to offer here.
Well, where it all started is actually this hat I'm wearing right now. It's the exact, is it on the other side with the cross and the American Reich right across the front? This is where it all started. I went and got this hat I'm wearing made at the local mall and did a reel. And that's where it all started, is this hat. I'm at my zone commander, Brent, said, you need to put that in a glass case. So anyways, so I have hats, and I don't know if you could see them, but I have hats in all colors. I have pink ones, trucker, snapback, flex fit, whatever you want, we got it. And we have new era. So it's like good line. It's not like junky hats. But I'll start with one of the original shirts. So on the front, it has the definition of Reich. And I already just said it, but it is Reich, kingdom, realm, or nation, especially a nation or state. And on the back is our big, beautiful crest. On the side, we have the flag, and every shirt has a QR code that takes us to the website. So if anyone says, what the hell is American Reich? Boom. Hit the QR code. It'll explain everything you need.
That's brilliant. That's not something. I'm in the clothing industry. I make clothes. So that's brilliant. I've never heard anybody want to do that before. That's fucking brilliant. Well done,
right,
dude.
It's a little bit. It's right. I'm fucking it up. Here, I'll fix it. Yeah, it's right there. The only thing it's not on is hats, because I think that would look dumb. We're not putting a QR code on a hat. But I just launched the Republic line. When we originated this thing, it was a lot of black and white, and I wanted to bring out more of the revolutionary, patriotic, good old-fashioned America. So I made a red, white, and blue, and it says right across, if you guys want to read.
Yeah, the American Reich, and for the republic in which it stands.
Yes, and it has our crest on it, the red, white, and blue.
I like that one.
It has the flag, the red, white, and blue flag on the side, and it says AR on the side of the shirt, like this big flag that I have hanging behind me. I did another line called Reich is Red, because most of the people in American Reich, it doesn't exclude liberals. Now, if you're a weirdo pushing weird sexual ideology onto children, you are not welcome. I'm just going to say that right out loud. But I do have people that left the Liberal Party that are like, hey, I really like what you're doing. And conservatives, so Republicans, Democrats, doesn't matter. But most of our people are from the right. So I made this shirt called...
There you go. I like it.
Because we're taking it over, man. A lot of people are hopping off the Trump train and they're not sure where to go. Come join us. You don't have to go vote. You don't have to go vote left if you don't know where to go. Right. Come with us.
Yeah.
It's got our logo on it. And I'll do one more because I don't want to, because I got so much shit. We'd be here the whole podcast. But this again, But we got shirts and sweaters where the logo, red, white, and blue, nice and big and bold.
I love the color choices in that.
Yeah.
That's a great choice for red and the blue, because I mean there's a lot of reds, a lot of blues. I know
Yeah.
I got them all stacked up over there, but that's a great choice for color of red and blue.
And
that
it's
really
right,
popped out.
it's right behind me. But those two, we got big decals, small decals, patches, our own flags with the crest on it, flags that say American Reich across it. We got all kinds of shit.
Well, you know what's
And
great?
it's in the link in my bio. Sorry, go to
Okay.
founder_AR. Go to my page, and it's on the American Reich Party page. It's all there. Just click the link in my bio, take you right to the store, and it's on the website if you're interested.
Yeah. Well, what the best thing about this is, like you said, you're filling a void. Okay. So, you know, I'm wearing a official Patriot Gear shirt because I've got friends in that business. I support that business because it's people over party. I'm hugely into it, and but it's a brand. It's not actually a movement, at least not yet that I know of. But you're actually creating a movement, and what that does is it fills a void for the people of America, because the people of America, we have all been forced. There's no other way to put it. We have all been forced into certain boxes. Oh, you're going to go in the left box. You're going to go in the right box. You're going to go in the far left or the far right boxes. Everybody's got to be in a box. And I think I know for a fact that we, as the people of the American, of America, we're tired of being stuffed in boxes forcefully by the people that run our lives. We're done. But when we come out of those boxes, we're kind of just looking around in an open field like, oh, fuck, dude, now I'm homeless. Where do we go? And what you're doing is that you're actually creating a home for everybody that's just done with the bullshit, just done with the left nagging the right and the right nagging the left while they both fuck everybody in the nation. You're creating a home, and that's an incredibly powerful endeavor that you're embarking on, and it's going to be a long haul. And what we talked about, like we've talked before, you're in it for the long haul. This isn't a flash in the pan. This isn't for you. Let's just see if this works. And if it doesn't work, we'll do something else. No, you're married to this motherfucker. Like, this is your core value, and you're going to see this thing all the way through to the end. So when these people come out of these boxes, you're right there with a home for them. You can be liberal. You just can't be weird. You can be conservative. You just can't be a zealot. Like, it's a home for everybody. And I really appreciate that notion, because a lot of people need a place that they can call home, and you providing that is it's just super amazing, because it's so much work. Like, I've done charity organizations of my own. So much work, and you enjoy the work. So I mean, what better leader than the guy that enjoys doing all the work while everybody else has the fun, you know?
My wife says it frequently, not but organically, but she says, I overhear when she's talking to like one of her sisters on the phone or a friend or everything, they're like, well, how's your husband's business movement going? And she's like, oh, he's so passionate about it. I have never seen him like this. And like, I overhear it and I'm like, I am like, yeah, she's right. I am. I love it. Like,
yeah, you exude it.
Yeah. And I want to rewind just a little bit, because you said something that I really want to drive home was, so by nature, we're a social creature. We're human beings. We are a social being through evolution and natural selection. And everybody wants to feel a part of and accepted. Now, we also at some points in our lives say, I don't care what anyone thinks about me, fuck everybody, blah, blah, blah. And that is true to a certain extent. And at the core of our DNA as human beings is we are a tribal species, and we need to be a part of something. So just like you said, the American Reich is a home, it's a landing spot for somebody who is politically or American homeless. Not like they don't have a home, but they're like, man, this war in Iran, this fucking weird LGBT, this weird fuck, man. Oh, these guys seem like they have some common sense. They're not discriminating. They're not saying you can only join if this. Let's go see what that is. It's about America. So I just wanted to reiterate that a little bit, because you said it perfectly. It's exactly what it is.
People do, like, we are a tribal species, like and that's that goes back to where I say we're starving for leadership as people. Generally, people are starving for somebody to lead them somewhere. They don't even necessarily want to get led to victory. They just need to be led. And if you can offer the leadership and lead them to victory, you're winning all the way across the board. And here's the thing that I like most about it. So Dave has been in clubs before, MCs and other various clubs. I myself have too. And so we understand that loyalty aspect, and we understand that. And I as an ex-skinhead, I understand loyalty to a level that most people do not understand. It's unfathomable to most people, the level in which I will take my loyalty. And there's a lot of us out there like me. It's not necessarily ex-skins or ex-club members or whatever. The people that are looking for a loyal home. It's one thing to offer a place for people to congregate. It's a completely other thing to offer people a place to congregate, make them feel at home, make them feel like they belong, and then make them feel like they're wanted. And that's what you're doing here. And we talked about this earlier. And I'm going to break the ice with this because I think the way I look at it is the way I look at what you're creating, and I'm sure that I'm sure through conversation you'll understand. Let's talk about now, everybody that's listening, don't pull back, don't retract. This is savagely loud. We talk about the most wild shit. The KKK, right? So if we go back to the KKK in the 1920s, it was an extremely fucking loyal organization. If you were a part of the organization, it would take care of you. And what you're doing, and this is to a point, like KKK or not, you can remove the hoods, you can remove the acronym, but that organization at that time, 100 years ago, all it wanted to do was look out for its people as a fucking giant, large family. And it showed the loyalty, it showed the respect, it showed the honor, it showed the value, it showed the care. And that's what you're trying to accomplish with your movement now, is not the racist part, not the white hoods, not the pointy hats, none of that shit. But that level of loyalty within the organization, within the family, that's what you're trying to create. Am I on base here?
You're 100% accurate. And a lot of what I do on my spare time when my wife's in bed, when my daughter's asleep, is I study civil movements and I study different organizations like the KKK, the Order, the Brand, 1488, the Black Panther Party, Cesar Chavez's following. I look at what worked, what didn't work, and there's three common themes that I've come across that are not every single one of them, but it's three things. It was race-driven. They used some symbology that has a history of hate or that has been construed to hate now, and they all failed. So as I'm thinking about what can I do with the American Reich, let's remove the race part. We can create our own symbology, and I hope to God we don't fail. But I've noticed that common theme is, why is it always race-driven? There's no way that one race in America is going to team up and fight the Zionist regime. It's not going to happen. But maybe if every single American, despite the color, got together, maybe we could have a chance, right? And then the other part of that is the symbology. I don't need to use swastikas. I don't need to use lightning bolts. I don't need to use black or white or gray fists in the air. I don't need to create this symbology and this visual aspect that has only failed. They've all failed. So, and when you talk about the KKK, I actually really like that you brought that up. The KKK in the 20s in its prime had, and this was without social media, this is without anything that we have now to plug and push our organizations, our small businesses, all that stuff, is they had 6 million plus members. There was 40,000 members walking down Pennsylvania Avenue saying, here the fuck we are. And they had a community within the United States of America. It's like, and I love this analogy. It's like the United States is a fish tank. They were a fish tank inside of a fish tank with their own set of rules, principles, society, and community. And that's what I want for the American Reich. And I will say this, remove the race part. I'm not saying I want to be like the KKK. No one's getting lynched. This isn't white power, whites only. But what I'm saying is at that time, when they were at their peak, there was presidents involved. To be a member of the KKK was a social, like the gold medal of social status at that time. And that's what I want for the American Reich, a fish tank within a fish tank. They were a fully self-sustaining organization. They had their own media, they had their own doctors, their own churches, their own wedding ceremonies, their own baptizing of children ceremonies. They had their own way of life. And a lady said it in a documentary I watched about a month ago. She said, in the 20s, if you were part of the Ku Klux Klan, you could literally live in that bubble and get every need met and have a full, happy life. They had it all, grocery stores, like I said, media, schools, everything, their own bands, their own music, their own radio stations. It was a fish tank within a fish tank.
Yeah, they definitely created their entire own atmosphere within the atmosphere of America, and it was an incredible thing to watch. Like, I'm not a fan of the KKK just because of my history as skinheads, and we didn't get along with them just because of the whole you're hiding your face but you're proud of your skin color. It's weird, but the society of the Ku Klux Klan was. You know what? It's very reminiscent of the Big Red Machine. It's very reminiscent of the Hells Angels. The Hells Angels are all, they're fully encompassed. If you're an angel, you're in and they will take care of you. It's you first all the fucking time. And they draw walls, or they build walls around themselves, as every club does, but they especially build walls around themselves so that nobody can penetrate. So once my people are here, we can protect them. We will protect each other. We will provide for each other. We will serve each other, and nobody else can get in. Everybody else can fuck all the way off, Yeah. And that's what I feel like. That's what I see is the American Reich is you're creating an entirely new atmosphere that we haven't seen before. And the reason I say we haven't seen it before isn't because, we've got a lot of organizations. We've got a lot of people always want to start clubs and organizations and all this other stuff. But you basically, what it seems like to me, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but you've done your homework years and years and years. You've gone hundreds of years into the history. And what you've done is you've strategically taken this piece because it worked, and this piece because it worked, and this piece because it worked. And you did that all the way through history. And then you brought them all over here. You put them down on a table and you go, okay, how can we take all these pieces that worked from all these different times, these different eras, these different organizations, these different entities? How do we make this all one giant homogeneous combination and make it work? That's fucking cool. Like, no matter who you are, you got to say that's fucking cool, right? To do something that nobody else has done, because, we all know the organizations like, you got to be white to be in here. You got to be black to be in here. You got to be a man. You got to be a woman. You got to be this. You got to believe in that. You're taking all of that, removing these certain standards, creating a primal home for a tribal species for everybody, no matter what your opinions are, as long as you love America and you want America to be first, not the whole bullshit America First movement that everybody's jumping on. Yeah, we know it's a fucking Democratic ploy. We get it. But you're actually creating a real America First kind of thing.
Yeah. And that was where the idea came from, was make America great again. That whole ideology behind it, like, yes. And then Charlie was assassinated. Trump's kissing the wall, pulling out Netanyahu's chair the next day. Doesn't fucking add up. So we got this young, brilliant kid, Nick, stepping up with America First, and him at the beginning. Yeah, I like it, bringing stuff to light that we've all been hidden, that's been hidden in the shadows for a long time. We like that. And then, like you said, that circle of let's go so far right that we end up left. And I'm like, man, I don't like, something doesn't feel right about this either. And I had an idea. What could I think of that just sticks to the ideology of it without the bullshit. And that's where I came up with the idea of the American Reich. That's where it was birthed. Was MAGA didn't work, America first. The idea of it, I believe in, but where it's the brand of it took us, I don't. And that's where the American Reich was birthed. Within.
No.
Go ahead.
No, I was just
Dave,
going to ask.
you're gonna say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, like, was there a moment or something that just at one point you're just like, you know what? Like, what made you decide to just do this? Like, was there a moment that just triggered it? Like, you know, I mean, yeah, MAGA, we're sick of the crap with that. We're sick with the crap with the liberals and all that stuff. But I mean, was there a specific moment that you're just like light bulb just went off and just like, boom?
No. So it wasn't a light bulb burning bush moment. It started small, where I had a group of people in a private chat. We're about America first. A buddy Jesse of mine reached out to me, and then we started pulling other people in. Mr. Grimm, if you're watching, he was one of them at the very, very beginning. He's seen this thing since day one. We were pulling people in, but the idea for a name came to me first, like the American Reich. And then I made that hat. And then all of a sudden, I got two kinds of attention. One was, where can I buy that hat? And I'm like, fuck, I don't know. I just made it because I wanted to make it for me, because I'm going to be unique and I'm going to stand for something bolder than MAGA and America first. we're going to hit this thing hard. But I'm like, hey, I have 1,000 messages asking to where to buy this fucking hat. So I said, you know what? I'm an opportunist. If I don't do it, someone else is going to do it. So I trademarked American Reich. I made it an LLC. It's my own business. We own it now. Boom. Okay, I'm going to start selling a hat because you guys want a hat. Boom. But the other half of that was, where are we going to meet? I'm behind you, brother. I believe in you, brother. And I'm like, oh shit. And then that's where the movement was born. And then I started seeing people tattooing our logo on their chests, on their hands, on their neck. The messages I was getting, what can I do to help? I'm with you. I stand with you. People are calling me the Fuhrer. I'm like, okay. No, I'm serious. I'm like, okay.
I know.
I'm like, okay. That's really where it started to become a reality to me, was now I have a responsibility, and I can either say, nah, I just want to sell hats, and sorry guys, this is kind of just a one-off, as you said, or I'm going to fucking stand on something. And when I look at my life, all the shit, it's almost like destiny. Everything has led me up to this point. It just, the truth of my experience and my reality and my existence as Christopher Galien, the founder of American Reich, it just fucking fits. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I believe it in here, and I know it in here. And it's like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And it's been authentic, and it's been organic, and it is working. And I believe it wholeheartedly. That was a long answer, Dave. Sorry.
No, that was perfect. I mean, because I was just wondering if like there was that moment, and it just like the way you just explained it, just how it just kind of it was there, and it was fate that brought everything upon just how everything was supposed to go. Because I mean, that's the best way I can describe it. Just fate just brought it.
What's so beautiful about this is there was not one moment where I was laying in bed and I was like, I need to think of an idea to make some money and like get a whole bunch of people behind me so I can get popular on the internet, and like, what could I do? That was never a thought. Just all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit, all these people are leading me. I have a responsibility. I'm either gonna jump in the deep end head first and let's fucking do this for real, or I need to be a responsible adult and say, hey, I just made a hat and made a cool reel. Sorry guys. And I have a responsibility, and we're going to make this fucking thing happen. And I'm all in 10 toes.
Well, and that's what makes, for me, you know, I'm a leader myself. And I'm a leadership focused person. Like, what can we do to be better leaders? And this right now, what you just said, I want everybody to take to heart. I want you to think a little extra about this, listeners and viewers, because what he said had a lot of gravity to it from a leadership perspective. You see, this is why we see so many clubs up, down, fucking they're formed and then they disappear. We see so many organizations, they're formed and then they disappear. It's because all of those things are formed in the moment. Those things are all formed in a moment of selfishness and self-righteousness of, you know what? I just want to be on the top of something. So let me figure out what I can do to make some money or put myself on top. You didn't do that. This shit formed organically over time, and you chose. This wasn't an idea that you're like, oh, I just want to be on the top of something. You actually chose after a lot of other people came around you and put you on top. You chose to take the leadership role. That is what's going to make this thing last. And the reason why I find this so important to drill home to everybody that's listening is because you can actually, these people, you people, everybody, all the viewers, the watchers, everything, you guys actually can get involved in this with the knowledge that it is not going to fizzle and fade in the next 6 months. You can join it. It's something that you can actually be a part of, actually claim allegiance to. You can get the shit tattooed on you. You can wear the shirts. You can fucking spit the rhetoric. You can fucking do the speeches. You can do all this stuff, all as part of this organization. And you're going to be able to do that for a very, very, very long time because of how it was formed. Way too many fucking things are formed in a moment. This was formed over a long cascading waterfall of time and criteria and circumstance. It's fucking amazing to hear that it was formed in such a slow manner, and then to hear people brought it to you. Like it was yours, but people congregated, and then you got to choose with the understanding of, hey, I could go this way and not have to deal with any of this shit, or I can go this way, but it's going to lead to a lot of responsibility for me. I'm willing to take that. I'm ready to take that responsibility. I'm ready to bag up all that shit, throw it over my shoulder, and carry the weight for my movement. That's fucking awesome.
And thank you. I appreciate that. And I love how you reinterpreted what I said. That was beautiful. Thank you. All the proceeds from the merch, also, since we're such a toddler organization, what I mean by that is we're new. We're barely wrapping up our first quarter. It's been around like 3 months, but all the profits go right back into the organization. And I got to pay for shit, right? I got to pay for the warehouse, all the expenses at the warehouse, all the taxes. And I live in California, state tax, federal tax. So there's a lot of expenses, and we have our own platform. Imagine Facebook, but our Facebook is called Vanguard, and it's not Facebook, it's called Vanguard, but it's a social media platform for all the members of American Reich. So we have our own app, we have our own social media platform. We're starting to do community events where we're reaching out to the homeless and addicts and people who are suffering. My national security director, Wick, in Florida, his wife is actually working on with me some curriculum for children. We're going to do a youth program, but he's working on disaster relief stuff. So there's a lot of upcoming things in the wheelhouse, and all the proceeds, we are fully self-supporting through our own contributions. So I'm not taking any handouts from fucking anybody. If anything, the only handout I've ever taken is money directly out of my bank account and my wife's bank account, which is both of our bank accounts. But I've put more money into this thing than I've made. So yeah, and this is what I wanted to say. They chose me. I love this analogy. The American Reich is a magazine. They chose me to be the cover. But if you open the cover, it's all the people that are a part of it and support it, that they're the ones that are in there. And my staff and my team and everyone who's had a helping hand in making this thing, all the influencers that take the time to open up a box and say, look at American Reich. That's what's inside the magazine. They just chose me to be the cover. They trusted me enough to say, hey, we want you to be the face. We want you to be the voice. We trust and respect your direction where you're going to be the guy. And I said, all right. Here the fuck I am.
Yeah. And I heard you mention Wick. If you guys aren't familiar, I think it's what Wick _actual, I believe, something like that. Go follow that dude, because I follow that dude. That dude's cool shit. I've never talked to him, but I like his shit. I just saw a video not too long ago. He was doing basically just med pack rundowns. Like, he gives you tidbits. He gives you little things that you can make your life better with. He was running down like a medical kit. If you just have this and something happens, you've already got a good start on how to fix the problem. It's very informational, very educational, very informative, and he does have a way of He's a little bit drier, which I appreciate. He's not a showman. He's not a spokesman. He just bleeds like, I know this shit. Like you just get it. You just feel it from him because he's not he's not that influencer type, if you will. He just knows the shit, and that makes it that establishes an immediate level of trust. I'm not saying he can't talk to a camera. I'm not saying he's not a personable human being. I am saying that he's the kind of personality that you come into and you go, that dude knows some shit. Let's listen. So if you're not following Wick Actual, go follow him. He's good shit. You'll learn some shit, and you'll be supporting the American Reich in general.
Yeah, and him and I collab each other on almost at 90% of each other's stuff. So it's easy to find him on my page. He's my national security director. And that's one thing that I have no problem admitting is there are areas of this thing that I'm not the expert. I'm not the expert in survival. I'm not the expert in firearms. I'm not the expert in self-defense, but Wick is. And so let's put him on the cabinet. Let's make him my right-hand man. And I'm not an expert at computer software and CRMs and this intricate technology. So I have a chief of staff named Rick who did it for the government for 10 plus years. Let's put him on my staff. I'm not the expert at campaigning when we get into politics. I've never ran a campaign, but my chief advisor, William, worked under Donald Trump as a campaign manager. So let's bring him on the team, which he is a part of. So I'm not the smartest fucking guy in the room, but I make sure that I have a room full of the smartest fucking guys.
That's real leadership right there, because, dude, that's another thing to tie into this leadership thing, because, you know, I'm a big one. Like, I tell people, if you want to fucking lead something, but fucking lead it. And there's a certain way to do it right and a certain way to do it wrong. And you're doing it right, because the best leaders I've ever known in my entire life, and I have known some fucking phenomenal leaders in my life, they all say that. They're like, I'm not the best at everything, and that's not my job. My job is to find the best for everything and then put them in a position and make sure they have what they need to fulfill the responsibilities and duties of that position and do it in a way that is cohesive with all of the other positions. It's an incredible endeavor. It's an incredible fucking statement to you, who you are, your character, and your level of, I should say, your lack of an ego, to be able to say, I don't know everything. I'm not the best at everything. I'm good at what I do, but I know a lot of things in this organization that need to be done that I'm not comfortable with doing. So let's find somebody that is very good at it so that we can set up this organization and everybody in the future that ever takes part in it. Let's set this up for success. That's fucking huge, dude. So many people always want to be the go-to dude for everything. This guy leads the company. Well, I've got to make sure that I do the marketing, or I've got my fingers in the marketing. I've got my fingers in the finances. I've got my fingers in the campaigning. I've got my fingers in the security. I've got my fingers in the everything. That's a bad leader. That is a leader that is a boss driven by ego. You are not that. And that's that again, at the risk of sounding redundant, another commendable aspect about you.
No, exactly.
Thank you.
And you know what, I was going to actually touch on that too, just how humble you are and just how you don't have very many leaders that are actually like that are humble and do the things that how you're doing it, placing people in the positions where you know are going to do great. I mean, you're doing a great job, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And so it's hard I'm going to do it anyways. It's hard to be humble when you're talking about humility, but that's one of the things that I try to remind myself is as this thing grows, as we get more attention, as there's more, like I'm going to Texas to the NRA show, the 155th NRA show. We're having our first American Reich full meetup. I'm going to do a speech. We have our own section. Like it's our first big event. The point I'm making is remember to stay humble, Christopher. Humble beginnings. Remember where you came from. Like stay authentic, stay true to yourself. You're just a regular American guy. You're a dad, you're a husband. You want what everybody a part of this organization wants. And it's America the way it used to be, and America to stand proud for once again. So I really have to center myself sometimes because I get a lot of attention. I'm not going to not say I do. I get a lot of messages. At the beginning of this, you were saying the 1,000 messages I need to check. Like I get it. And at the very beginning, I'll be honest, it was a hit of dopamine. I was like, whoa, like people like me. I'm
Yeah.
cool. Like
I'm
this is fun.
special.
Yeah, yeah. And then it's you open your phone in the morning and you're like, fuck, I'm never going to be able to read 113 new messages.
Yeah.
Fuck. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I remember, stay humble, and I do my best to answer as many messages as I can. All the members and people that reach out to me know that I'm very approachable. You can talk to me if you have a question. If it's I got the wrong color hat, I'm going to redirect you to the warehouse so you could figure it out. Like I don't have time to do every little thing.
Right.
But I don't ever want to become the leader who's too busy for the oldest member or the newest member. If you have a question, let's talk it out. I want to be approachable, and I feel like I really am.
Right. And I like the idea. I like the notion about you, because so most people, they confuse the terms modest and humble. So when people will see, I'll give a good example. People will see a billionaire driving a Lamborghini and they will say, well, he's not very humble. Bullshit. He's probably the most humble motherfucker you'll ever meet, because he understands why he's a billionaire. And that's because of the fucking work of a lot of other people that have helped him there. He understands that. That is humble. Modest is what actually people always want to say. They always replace humble with modest. When you drive in a Lamborghini, what you're saying is not that he's not humble. He understands. Humble just means, other people are dependent on you and they rely on you and they also help you get to where you're going. Modest is the thing that people always want to see. They don't want to see the billionaire driving a Lamborghini because it reminds them that they don't have one. So they say, oh, the dude's not very humble. No, he's not very modest. And I'm the guy that I don't like modesty. Fuck modesty. I don't work my nuts off to be modest. I'm humble as it gets. Anyone that is in my inner circle, anybody that knows me personally and closely will tell you I'm one of the most humble motherfuckers. I'm one of the most easily approachable motherfuckers most of the time. I get my days, but I'm not a modest human being. I'm just not a modest individual. And I can tell by the way you take pride in your appearance, right? So you're on a podcast, you're dressed up, you fucking look good, you do your videos, you've got your fucking, you're all pressed and dressed. You take a great amount of pride. And most people will say that's not very humble, but it is. What it is modest. And I like that. I like people taking the reins of the role that they're in and owning it. You don't have to be modest to be humble. They're mutually exclusive. You're a very humble human being, but you don't just preach modesty. You don't exhibit just nothing but modesty. You say, I live in a very beautiful neighborhood because we work our asses off. That's not modest. I love it when you say that, by the way. That's one of those moments where I hear you say, I hear you say that shit, I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, get him, But it's the humble, being able to separate humble and modest, be one but not the other, hugely awesome. And it's a very rare attribute for people these days.
Thank you. And that's exactly what it is I take a lot of pride in what this is. And even before this podcast, I'm a human being, and I know a lot of people are going to watch this, and you have a pretty big platform, and I get a little bit nervous. I'm human. It's excited and nervous and mixed. And I tell my wife, I say, I'm a little bit nervous. She's like, good luck. And she's like, remember, you're just nervous and excited because you care so much.
Yeah.
It's because you care so much. And right before this started, I took a deep breath and I reminded myself, this isn't the podcast to talk about, well, it is to talk about me a little bit, but this isn't look at Christopher. Let's do a podcast
Right.
of look at me. I am representing thousands of people, my staff, my wife, my daughter. So I remind myself, like, hold pride, put on a fucking shirt and a tie, be presentable, be a leader.
Yes.
Not just talk about it, be about it.
That's fucking awesome.
Here I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I dig it, man. I'm loving it. I love what you're trying to put together. I love that, like I said, you've taken all the little tidbits of all the little pieces that actually worked from all these historical things, and you're combining them. And it's always going to be a moving, evolving, growing thing that you have to work with. But it sounds like you've got a really good grasp on what you're doing, where it needs to go, who it needs to, benefit, who it needs to encompass. I think it's awesome.
Thank you.
I'm like word locked because it's
Thank
just
you.
cool. Like what you're doing is really fucking cool. And it's not something that we see people doing. It's when we see people doing stuff like this, it's only because they wanted to be on top because nobody liked them in school, whatever, but that's not you. And I think that's what's going to be the driving success factor of American Reich.
Yeah, thank you. And to give you just a little crack open window into my life is I work my ass off on American Reich from sun up to sundown. I do take breaks because I'm a father. I still make my daughter dinner. I still help with bath time with my wife. I read her stories, Dr. Seuss books. Like I'm a regular guy doing these things. And when I have that alone time, again, after my wife goes to bed, after my daughter's tucked in, asleep, everything's safe, the house is locked up, I study. I'm a nerd. I read all the stuff and look into all the stuff, not only the stuff that we're taught you're not supposed to, but everything. I've read Mein Kampf. I've read the Communist Manifesto. I read the Turner Diaries. I read all the stuff that they say, don't read that.
Yeah.
And I can see it for the big picture. I can read material, I can study material and say, I could see why this was bad in a lot of ways, but there's also a lot of good in it. And just like you were talking about earlier, I dissect information, I take the good, I leave out the bad. I'm like making an American Reich salad, like with these different ingredients. And I just want the best for me, my family, like I said, my staff, the people under me, Americans, all these beautiful relationships I've built through the beginning of this journey. I just want the best for people. I'm not trying to fuck anybody over. I don't have any ulterior motive or hidden agenda. I'm not trying to get one over on anybody. I'm pretty open and transparent with my staff, with anybody who talks to me. All I want is the greater good to prevail. And I want us to unite. And I want something organic, raw, the American Reich, and something beautiful. And to backtrack a little bit, I'm a fucking nerd. When I'm not on camera and I'm alone, I'm just like studying. I want to learn about the Cuban Revolution, the South African Revolution. I want to learn about the First Reich, the Second Reich, the Third Reich, the French Revolution, the Mexican Revolution. I just want to retain information so I have all the ingredients so we can make the best fucking salad we've ever had, because we need something different. It's evident.
Yeah. That's a 100% fact right there.
Yeah. You sound like a man that's on a mission for wisdom and knowledge.
Hello to we're pagan, so it's our thing.
No, that's really cool. My chief of staff is pagan. He's hardcore pagan. I respect it. He just renewed the vows with his wife for 20 years. He filmed this whole pagan ceremony that I've never seen. That I thought was
Dave just did it.
That was like
I
unique and beautiful and different, and I respected the hell out of it. Yeah.
And I think
I did that as well with my wife when we renewed our vows. We pagan style, and it was beautiful.
Well, what I think what's beautiful too is that we're at a point in society where certain religions can get along, and pagans and Christians, obviously Christians wiped out the fucking pagans, so they didn't get along for a long time. But now we've reached this point of mutual understanding as to where we can benefit each other, because the Christians, we'll be honest, I'll be honest with you, the Christians, I left Christianity because they just roll over and take it all the time. But now we're starting to see Christians stand up. We're starting to see Christians fight back. We're starting to see Christians get loud and get in people's faces. And that's the pagan way. Like I'm not going to fuck you up if you don't deserve it. But boy, howdy, heaven help you if you fucking deserve it. I'm coming with everything I got. And that's what the Christians are turning into. And that's what's making us get along really well. I think we can wrap this up because unless there's something else you wanted to get to, I think what you just said though, that's an awesome show closer. You're going to make the best. You're going to make the best fucking salad that the American people have ever fucking had.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And it is Cliff. It is we. I know you're a patriot. I know a lot of your ideology and your thought process is right along our lines. So it is we. It is we.
So, all right, dudes. What a fucking hell of a show. I knew this was going to be a great conversation. I knew it was going to be enlightening. I knew it was going to solve all the inquiries that people are having about the American Reich, because, you know, we see the questions in the comments like, what does it mean to this? What does that mean? What are you doing with that? Or how are you going to do this? And I think you did a fantastic job of laying out the core values of the American Reich, the core mission of it, who's involved, who can be involved, who you don't want to be involved. I think you answered all the fucking questions that people could have.
Yeah. And if I didn't, you can find me at founder_AR and inbox me. If I don't get to you right away, I will get to you and I'll answer any question anybody has. I live and breathe this shit. One thing you said that I want to emphasize on, you were talking about Christians taking a lot of shit or just rolling over. We, as the American Reich, this is very important for me. We are not an offensive stance, but we are at a stance, just like you said, where if you fuck with us enough, we're not going to just take it. We'll bite. We're the pit bull that if you poke with a stick long enough, it's going to bite your ass, but we're not trying to start fights with anybody. And I tell that to people when they go out on the street. I say, remember, don't antagonize, don't start no shit, be respectful, be peaceful. But if someone fucks with you and you have to defend yourself or defend the American Reich, by all means do it. So I just wanted to make that clear.
And that's a good thing, because people don't want to join a giant street gang, you know, like, oh, I'm going to have to go sell a fucking kilo or a brick to get my membership. And then I'm going to have to spray paint these swastikas on the wall.
None of that. None of that. We do have a very strict membership policy. We do, and it's all in, if you go on the website, you click join, it asks you a lot of questions. You do sign some disclosures, some legal disclosures, because we don't want anybody hurting anybody, and we do not want to be, and we will not be, and this is on the top 3 of my list for the American Reich, be associated with any kind of weirdo sex crimes, pedophile, anything. That is a non-negotiable. That's like the number 1 rule in my chat site, is if anyone even hints at any of that, and if you want to talk about the Epstein list or what's going on, that's different. But if you post a picture of a child in a sexual manner or any kind of shit that can be misconstrued as some weirdo shit, you are fucking gone. There is no talk. There's no conversation. It's why am I blocked from every American Reich platform all of a sudden? So I'm very adamant about that. We don't fuck around with that.
That's good. And a lot of people, I'm sure everybody will agree with that.
Yeah, you know, good.
So,
if you don't, you're on the wrong channel.
Yeah, you're damn. If you don't agree with that, you are on the wrong fucking planet. And boy, help you if we ever find each other in the same room. I don't play that maps bullshit. You are a fucking pedophile. You need to be fucking stuffed into a wood chipper and buried under the prison.
Agreed.
Let everybody know where they can find you again.
Biggest, easiest place to find me is Instagram, founder_AR. You will find me there. Or if you want to find our campaign page, American_Reich_party. We do have X, American Reich. We do have YouTube, The American Reich. And we do have Rumble, The American Reich. And Instagram is our golden goose egg right now. And we are planning to expand, but that's where our bread and butter is right now. So Instagram.
Fuck yeah. Big Dave, the Big Bad Viking. Let them know where they can find you.
All right, y'all can find me over on social media and Instagram and Facebook, where I'm heavily active at The Hammer Drops. If you want to get in touch with me, email me at david@thehammerdrops.com. That's the best way to get a hold of me. And Christopher, I just want to say, man, I see you going a long way with this, and I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate your time.
Same from me. Guys, if you want to help us out, get these words out, get these truths out, you can follow me too at Savagely Loud on Instagram is where I'm most active. And on that page, you're going to find 2 links. One of those links is the Savagely Loud podcast page. If you could please follow us there too, it would greatly help improve the footprint of the show, grow the show, and it will inevitably be my backup page, I'm sure, at some point. The other link you're going to find is a simple link tree. Anywhere you want to see my bullshit or hear my rants, you can find it there, easy peasy. Outside of that, Facebook, X, and Rumble at Savagely Loud, YouTube at Savagely Loud. Loud podcast. Don't forget to subscribe. And you can email me or Dave in at savagellyloud@gmail.com. We'll work that out because, again, I'm not used to having a co-host. I'm not used to having somebody that actually does shit. I'm not used to having somebody that I know is going to go the long haul and build some really kick-ass shit with me. So we're going to work that out. But you can email savagellyloud@gmail.com for me or Dave. I'll make sure he gets it. And last but not least, don't forget to like, comment, and share the material. And please, for the love of all the things you love, rate and review the show on iTunes and Spotify. It greatly helps the show. Now, without further ado, you know what time it is. We have been down in the sticky shit, and we don't want to walk away from this show ready to just take on the fucking world in fisticuff battle. So let's remind ourselves that some humanity still exists within humans with a little segment I like to call Hopelessly Human, and it starts a little bit like...
People can be really rough. They can be quite tough. They can get in the way, but at the end of the day, some aren't only stupid, some are hopelessly human.
Yes, they are. Some are hopelessly human, and this one is no different. It comes to you from psychologytoday.com. It's entitled Rosie's Garage. Not long after Rose Espinoza and her husband, Eleazar, we'll call him Elisar. I don't know how to spell that. I don't know how to say that. So we'll call him Elisar. Moved into their first new home in Brea, California in 1991. They started wondering if they'd ever make if they'd made a huge mistake. Boys with baseball bats hung out on the corners until they weren't looking for a pickup game, recalls the 65-year-old electromechanical designer. After a drive-by shooting on our street, we started to really worry about the safety of our 8-year-old son, Chris. I thought we had gotten the what had we gotten the family into, I wondered. The Espinosas initiated a neighborhood watch group, but the morning after the first meeting, a clear message was spray-painted on their truck. Don't finger us, keep your mouth shut. Rose knew she had to take a different approach to the problem, so she went directly to the root. In September of 1991, she transformed her 2-car garage into a free after-school K-12 tutoring program. Rosie's Garage, complete with computers, books, and banners for kids who made the honor roll. We started by offering homework help and free lemonade, and 16 kids showed up the very first day, recalls Espinoza, who recruited high school students with solid grades as tutors. This was our first tutoring program in the neighborhood, and it was clear that these kids really did want to learn. Rosie's Garage literally transformed into Espinoza's neighborhood within 2 years, or transformed Espinoza's neighborhood within 2 years. Academic scores went up and the crime rate went down, and it's such a great idea that it's spreading. There are now 4 sites, 1 in Brea and 3 in neighboring towns of Santa Ana, La Habra, and that have served about 200 children at any given time. The reason I picked that story is just for you, because that seems like some American Reich type shit. If the fucking politicians ain't gonna make this place better, we the people are gonna do it.
Love it.
That's Hopelessly Human. That's the show. Later, guys.